women's sports, how it started, how it's going. Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Akorn. I hope all of you are having a great weekend and that you're ready for today's show, Laugh While the World Burns, where we highlight some of the idiocracy that is modern-day society. If you enjoy this series, please help support the channel and enjoy today's video to the end. And share this video with your family, friends, and social media. We have a lot of good memes and some idiocracy news today, so let's get into it. Some good news for a change. Zero tolerance. 205 arrested in National FBI child operation, including 3 Oregon men. More than 200 alleged are in custody across the U.S. following an FBI crackdown that involved 3 arrests in Oregon, according to state officials. On Wednesday, the Department of Justice announced the results of a national project called Operation Restore Justice. Over the course of 5 days, 55 FBI field offices worked to track and arrest child. The operation led to 205 arrests and 115 rescued children, according to the DOJ. Well, it's at least good news. In the respect, at least they're doing something about it. Too bad they don't start in D.C. first. The historic moment when the 2 greatest presidents in American history shook hands. The other historic moment when the 2 worst presidents in American history shook hands. Whoever made this is getting deported. That one's actually kind of funny.
It's been called the Gulf of Mexico for centuries.
Cool story, bro. Now do genders. Remember when you said you were going to release the Epstein files? It'd be awesome if you actually did. Yeah? How long do you guys think it'll be? Or do you think they will ever be released, especially in full? Personally, I seriously doubt it. Just my luck. 250 million-year-old salt, and it expired 5 years ago. There is a lot of expiration dates that are completely meaningless. More often than not, the expiration date really has more to do with the container that the food is in. I work hard so my family can have a better life.
Think about the minorities who will be at a disadvantage. Your children will be born privileged.
Yeah, that's how they act. Unhinged Maine high school teacher says Trump needs to unalive, calls for Secret Service to take him and followers out in wild rant. A pixie-faced Maine high school teacher called for the U.S. Secret Service to take out those who support President Trump and said that Trump and his cronies need to unalive in a string of unhinged social media posts this week. And the kicker is, from what I read in this article, she is still currently employed at that high school. The real question is, why hasn't the Secret Service showed up at her door? Cardinals elect new pope after unexpected 3 a.m. surge in voting. Elon Musk posted it, the Dodge Father. I wonder if that is actually an official badge. When and why did this get replaced by this? When? I remember it catching hold back in the 1990s. Why? Because the woke crowd convinced stupid people it was cool. As soon as they find out you're not stupid, all of a sudden, you're crazy. They have to make some reason that they can just completely ignore you and write you off. Otherwise, they might actually have to think about what you said and admit that you were right.
Ladies, stop with the filters, okay? Really, stop with the filters. because you become a missing person, we're out here looking for Miss America when we should be looking for Sasquatch.
Georgia pro-life organization attacks bill that would classify child sacrifice as homicide. Sad, but it is not a surprise. Georgia Life Alliance is opposed to legislation that would recognize the personhood of the unborn and their slayings as murder. That right there is the reason why I refuse to donate to these type of organizations. If you want to help somebody while going through your day, if you see someone that needs help, you can help them. At least then, even if they scam you, it's still not going to the billionaires. Yep, that'll hold. They could at least wrap some duct tape around there, add a little baling wire, and you'd be set. Admiral Rachel Levine has lost the battle and the war. The Supreme Court refused to hear her case against the government, in which she claims discrimination based on sexual orientation, a violation of her civil rights. The court wrote, "The law in military matters comes from the commander-in-chief, not Congress. The president can discharge the admiral at his pleasure and without reason." And thus the saga of the DEI admiral ends. Levine will be administratively discharged at the end of the week. The worst part of this is that this was ever even a thing. Me showing off all the bigot badges the left has given me. Yep, show them off with pride. In 1962, prayer was removed from schools. How are things since then? You guys can pause the video if you want to look at these closer, but we all know and have witnessed firsthand the fallout from this. "2020 was not real. What comment could possibly be added to this?" How it feels to get off a commercial flight in 2025. And the rate of increase in fentanyl overdose unalivings in the U.S., Governor Tina Kotek's solution? Fight Trump's policies, which help stop cartels and trafficking, while risking the federal funding Oregon needs to combat fentanyl trafficking. Who knows? Maybe she even works for the CIA. They're the ones that allegedly do most of that. Democrats then, Democrats now. Nothing's really changed. Teachers. If your students know your political or sexual preferences, you should be fired. Yeah, immediately, with no severance pay. Dear government, after a 47-year war on drugs, you can't keep drugs off the streets. You can't keep drugs out of elementary schools. You can't even keep drugs out of federal prisons. Yet, you want me to disarm myself and trust that you can keep cordless hole punchers from criminals. Democrats who say Trump supporters are the brainwashed ones and in a cult. NASCAR fans will get this one. I haven't watched NASCAR for a lot of years, but I can only assume that Clint Eastwood has something to do with the number 6 Coors Light car, or maybe the track that this was at. I don't know. If you guys know, drop it down in the comments. I bet he wishes he had a truck. I've wrecked the state economy lost about $24 billion, passed stupid unconstitutional laws, honored the communist dictator of China, and paid for all the medical for several foreign countries. Why don't my peasants love me? Captain, bring me my wine. Sadly, this is the state of a lot of so-called men today. What people think paying taxes is like. What it's actually like. True, but most of it goes into somebody's pocket. Democrats aiding and abetting a crime. Border Patrol uncovered thousands of FEMA relief packages scattered in storage locations along the southern border, put there by the Biden administration to feed illegals as they crossed. The packages were rerouted in 2024 from Tennessee, Georgia, and North Carolina after the hurricane. But does this really surprise anyone? This is what happens when you fart in a smart car. Me on Friday at 6 p.m. Me on Monday morning at 9 a.m. President Trump expected to rename San Andreas Fault to Joe Biden's fault.
Elon is trying to steal my social security number.
You mean after the government leaked millions of people's social security and all their other identity information about a year ago or so? Dear President Trump, we, the American people, are still waiting for the total release of all Epstein files, all JFK files, all RFK files, all MLK files, and all of the J6 files. That's a lot to wait for, but our patience is wearing thin. Remember 2026. In my opinion, it'll never happen. Parts and pieces? Sure. But a full release? I just don't see it. If Tyson had been allowed to fight for real, he would have looked a lot worse than that, though. From the White House. Ah, yes, a true classic. We call this one Not a Maryland Dad. Male athlete wins girls' high jump competition despite finishing dead last when competing against boys. A male athlete took first place in a high school high jump competition for girls last week, just a few days after the Department of Education launched a federal investigation into the school district. Zachary Rose, who now goes by Leah, is a student from Ida B. Wells High School in Portland, Oregon. Of course it's Portland, right? If it ain't Portland, then it's California or sometimes Washington State. Last Wednesday, Rose won the girls' varsity high jump at the Portland Interscholastic League varsity relays. Rose beat the second-place finishers by 2 inches with a height of 4 feet and 8 inches, a personal record. The second-place height was achieved by 3 different girls, 2 of whom were from Rose's high school. What makes the scenario more appalling is the fact that Rose, while competing against boys in junior varsity category in 2023, finished in last place in a competition of 11 boys. Rose's jump in the boys' competition was 4 feet and 6 inches. That same score would have won the girls' competition last week had Rose not competed. It is also interesting to point out that the shortest jump in the boys' JV competition equates to the highest jump in the girls' varsity competition, showcasing the stark advantage that the male has against females. Yeah, no kidding. Remember, the people you're arguing with wore a mask walking into a restaurant and then took it off when they sat down. Well, everybody knows it's only allowed to fill the air in between the tables. Hey Democrats, now you know. In 1996, Bill Clinton signed his Immigration Reform Act that stated illegals could be deported without judicial hearings. So, if this is really about due process and the Constitution, talk to him. Cheese pirates steal 20,000 pounds of cheese in Wisconsin. A truck carrying 20,000 pounds of cheese was reported stolen in Oak Creek, Wisconsin on Friday. Authorities confirmed that the semi-truck was stolen from a parking lot storage area early in the morning. The truck contained an estimated $46,000 worth of cheese. This isn't the first incident of stolen cheese in the area, however. A trailer of cheese was stolen in Germantown, 30 miles north of Oak Creek, earlier this year. In addition, police recovered stolen Parmesan cheese 120 miles north in Grand Chute. The cheese pirates are back at it again, Vince Christian of Wisconsin Cheese Mart told an NBC 26. It's kinda crazy that cheese is now so valuable, people are going off with entire trucks of it. My question is, what in the world do they do with it after they take a truckload of cheese? I mean, do you sell it on the street corner? Is there a cheese black market? I don't know. When your Muslim girlfriend invites you over for lunch, well, you can't really blame him. Man, if you need that, then you need a plumber. Jill Biden attending cabinet meeting.
Oh my God, so great.
Elon Musk attending cabinet meeting.
He's unelected.
The wheel on the Blue Origin ship upon returning from space. This one took me longer than it should have. If you get it, drop it in the comments. Democrats, 1850s.
But without slaves, who will pick the crops?
Democrats in the 2020s.
But without illegal immigrants, who will pick the crops?
Report. China halts bribes to Congress in response to tariffs. Yeah, I doubt it. Blondes are now telling AOC jokes. You own a store. Your store gets robbed. Elon looks at the video footage of the robbery and tells you who did it. Now you want to arrest Elon. You're an idiot. The more we move away from religion, the more rational and intelligent our society will become.
A few moments later.
Men can get pregnant too.
Breaking. Scientists discover a technology that turns plants into delicious meat without any factories, synthetic chemicals, or seed oils. Yep, exactly. And it's even better if you can buy it from a local farmer. Nobody is above the law. Starter pack. Yeah, that is for certain just a starter pack. Are we still protesting police violence? No, there was a shooting. So this week, we say only cops should have lead dispensers. Scientists discover cockroach milk is 4 times more nutritious than cow milk. Yeah, I'm sure cockroaches thrown into a blender is more nutritious than real milk. I'm sure next they'll be saying that worm paste is better than beef. Anti-racist activists.
Abolish the police. All cops are bastards. If you support the police, you support black people being unalived by white supremacists.
Actual black people. Black Americans want police to retain local presence. Black Americans a bit more likely than most other groups to see police locally. Still, most, 81%, want police to spend same amount of or more time in their area. Yeah, they do. And it's also like some of the communities who stood up to and stopped the BLM from coming into their community and burning their houses and businesses down. Dad, why am I named Rose? When you were young, a rose fell on your head. Dad, why am I named Daisy? When you were young, a daisy fell on your head.
There are more than two genders.
Oh, hey, Brick. Yeah, even that don't explain it. When someone tries to convince you the economy was good under Biden. Yeah, I'd say the most small businesses ever in the history of the U.S. closed from 2019 through 2024. But it's not like the economy's changed now. People, how do you stay so calm and level-headed while everyone else is freaking out over the economy? Me. These people have no idea how to live without money. They're what's called new poor. We're old poor. Yeah, I hear that. Word for word with Joe Biden, number 9. Nope, I'm not even gonna bother to try to read that. Although, this isn't his worst one by any means. I have to admit, all 4 of them were good actors. Liberals would love Trump if he ran as a Democrat. Trump was always a Democrat, until one day he wasn't. And I'll end today's show with this. Everybody you meet is fighting a battle you don't know about. Attack them, and now they're fighting 2 battles. This is very, very true. Most often, you can't really see the things that people are going through. I'd like to thank our channel members, Super Thanks users, and all of our subscribers and viewers. We greatly appreciate your support, because this program is only made possible by viewers like you. Also, please remember to check out the new akornzstash merch store. That link can be found down below in the video description. And with that, we'll close out today's show. I'll see you guys back here on Friday's show. Until then, I thank you all for watching. You guys take care and stay safe this week. This is Akorn, over and out.